few years ago, there was a very popular country song called Choices by George Jones. Well, that song really illustrates something that has been true of mankind since the beginning of time, that there are choices that we have. In John chapter 1, the Bible tells us about some choices that people made, or at least that men have the potential to make. John 1, verse 10, speaking of Jesus, said, "He was in the world, and the world was made through him, yet the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own people did not receive him. But to all who did receive him, who believed in his name, he gave the right to become the children of God, who were born not of blood, not of the will of flesh or the will of man, but of God." You see, there are choices that people make. And in this case, there was the choice of rejection or reception. There were some people who rejected Jesus. They did not believe him. And because they did not believe him, they obviously did not obey him. They rejected him. And sadly, it says he even came to his own people, his own home, those who should have known and believed him the most, yet they refused to. But there are also people who received him. These are the people who we are saying were receptive to him. There's rejection, there's reception. And it says that, but to those who did receive him. That's the reception. That's the believing, the obeying. And that leads us to another R that we want to use as we think about these few verses, and that is recognition. You see, there were those who rejected, there were those who received, but those who received also now have a recognition. To those who believed him and received him, it says he gave the right to become children of God. You see, some people rejected the Son of God, but some people received the Son of God and consequently would then be recognized as children of God. And the Bible tells us that those who believed in his name, who had that right to be the children of God, were born. This is a reference, obviously, very early in the Gospel of John, even before we have any record of Jesus' teaching or John's preaching about baptism. He talks a little more about it in John chapter 3, but it says these people are born not of blood, not of the will of flesh, or not of the will of man, but they're born of God. They believe, they obey, and they're recognized as God's child. Let's do the same.